Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our today's lesson. Today we want to deal with this question specifically. But before we deal with this question, let's try to understand equations. Well, equations, all the equations that we see, usually we can, summarize them this way. Where there is addition, we remove that by subtraction. Where there's addition, we remove by subtraction. Pardon my handwriting. What do we mean by that? We mean something like, if I'm given x plus 4 is equals to 7, there is addition here, so we put it there. That's x is equals to 7 minus 4, and it's going to give us 5. Secondly, if there is division, by division we also means fractions. We remove division by multiplication or coefficients. Yes. So where there is division, we remove by multiplication. Where there is multiplication, we remove by division. What do we mean by that? An example to that is like when I'm given 2x is equals to 4, we can see this and we can divide both sides by 2. And we get our x is equal to 2. Exactly. So it means that division, there was a multiplication here, we had to remove by division, divide both sides, right? But if I was given something like x over 3 is equals to 7, the best way to remove this, there is division already, so you need to multiply. We multiply both sides by the denominator. Multiply by 3 is equal to 7, multiply by 3. So we have our x is equal to 21. This is how we solve. Let's have number 3. In number 3, where there is power, we remove by root. And where there is root, we remove by power. That means if I am given something like x to the power 3 is equals to 4, then for me to deal with this one, I need to remove this power. This power is removed by root equivalent to that. But the best way actually to think about it is like x to the power 3. We need to remove this from here. So we put reciprocal of that is equals to 4 to the power 1 over 3. You can punch your calculator and then tell us the answer. We get 1.59. Okay. How about when I am given square root of x is equal to 3? In this case, I am given a root, and root is removed by power of the same type, right? So this is to the power 2. 3 to the power of 2. Thus this and this will cancel out. Our x is going to be equal to 9. Okay, let me just put a little emphasis here on this one. If I may be given something like x to the power 1 over 3 is equals to 6. The best way is just to think about the reciprocal of 1 over 3. That's 3 over 1 is equals to 6 to the power 3 over 1. What you do to the left-hand side should also be done to the right-hand side. So as long as you do something to the left-hand side and to the right-hand side, then you are still correct. Good thing is that this and that will cancel out, so this side will be left with x is equals to 6 to the power 3, 216. So very important here. So whenever we are dealing with the equations, we need to think that way. So now let's move on to our question. Now the question that we were given here is, if n is the largest integer for which n to the power 200 is less than 5 to the power 300, determine the value of n. Remember, for inequalities, if you don't remember inequalities, you just make sure that you check in the comment section. I'm going to leave the link for the lessons that we did before. So if n is the largest integer for which n to the power 200 is less than 5 to the power 300, what would we do? First thing, we have to make sure that the n stays by itself. So how do we remove this? Remember that we can have a reciprocal of the exponent, which is, this is 200 over 1. So the reciprocal is going to be 1 over 200. Because what we do to the left-hand side, we should also do it to the right-hand side. So we go on to the right-hand side. And what did we add to the left-hand side is 1 over 200. So this one, we still need it here. So when you multiply this, this will cancel out with this. So n will be left alone, is less than, and we divide here. Divide. So we are going to get 5 to the power 3 over 2. You can take your calculator and you see that 11, the answer, the n is going to be less than 11.18. 11.18. But again, now the question is saying, determine, okay, if n is the largest integer, okay, the largest integer means what? Means which one is the biggest number? If we are to list these numbers, which one is the biggest whole numbers when we are here? So we are on a number line like this. Okay, and here on this point, that's where we have 11.18. But if I'm writing whole number before here, I'm writing whole numbers. What exactly is the whole number before that? We know that it's 11. After this is 12. Right? These are the whole numbers. Here it's like 10. Here it's like 9. So 11.18 is the n is supposed to be less than, it's found down here. So which one is the biggest whole number that we see before 11.18? That's 11. Therefore, your n is equal to 11. Yes. Here I was just trying to explain, you don't need to draw this, but I was explaining so that you see that when we are talking about 11.18, n being less than 11.18, then the biggest number before this one is 11, right? That's what they wanted, the largest integer. Yeah, it is. So again, hope you've benefited something. Goodbye.